talk about how important the threes were in just breaking the game open.
I mean, definitely anytime you're shooting good is definitely a good start for us on the ball going in. Eliminate some of the mistakes you might make offensively. And like I said, last week we got some of the same shots, but they ain't going to win. So we just tell the guys keep taking the same open shots. Eventually they'll fall.
Just talk about how important your role was today, given the way they were playing you defensively.
Well, we played against the zone all week in practice, and
you anticipated that?
Yeah. We knew they were going to play 1-3-1 and 2-3 like they did, but what I tried to do is just get in the middle, and because when you got in the middle, they obviously collapse on you and try to get the ball, so it left them open for wide open shots, and JJ opened down low for some easy layups. So. JJ,
how much easier did that make your task today as well as they were shooting the ball? Your collective teammates were shooting.
Oh man, it makes it real easy. Anytime those guys hitting shots outside, it just opens up things down low for me where the guys can't really help as much because they're afraid that the guy might hit the shot on the outside. But it definitely helps. So it's a good job by them.
TJ, I think last week Coach said something along the lines of, "You understand now what you have to do at Purdue to be successful." Do you have any idea what you might mean by that?
Yeah, I think I know a good start anyway. He tells me every day just be simple and know the players around you and just read the defense. So if I keep doing that and keep listening to him, I think it'll be all right. So.
When you look at your box scores from not only today but the exhibition games, you've had a lot more rebounds, a lot more assists than you did on average last year. I mean, just what's that a product of?
Well, last year, my games were kind of based on shooting. If I hit some shots, I didn't really get a lot of rebounds. So if I can make some good passes, get some rebounds, and knock down a couple shots, and even if I'm not hitting shots, if I can still rebound and maybe take a charge or two and do something like that, then I think that's what I need to do to help the whole team. So.
Etwan, you more than JJ probably see more DJ in practice every day. What do you see in DJ now compared to this time last year?
Oh yeah, he's definitely way better player than last year. I mean, he's just smarter, just more consistent. I mean, going after rebounds and just playing hard. I mean, around the whole table, I mean, he's just overall better player. And I think each game he'll get better and better, and I think he'll have a big year.
Do you think the fact they had actually played a regular season game and a close regular season game maybe helped them hang in a little bit?
I think it always helps really when the first time you get out there just to get those, I guess that first game jitters out. But I feel like once we settled down and we started clamping down on defense, everything started going really smooth for us. Especially it helps like you said, when you hit shots early, and it opens up a lot of things for everybody really.
Each one, Coach talks about the collective team defensive concept. Some people can play great individually, but it seemed like for this early in the season, the team defense was pretty good. Is that a byproduct of so many of you having played together in the past?
Yeah, that and just paying attention, to what's going on in defense. I think us playing good team defense will definitely help us win a lot of ball games.
DJ, didn't you focus kind of in the offseason to maybe be more guard-oriented because you didn't think Rab would be around?
I just focused on, getting my body in better shape.
Right.
I mean, last year I just, a couple injuries here and there just didn't feel right, and I just tried to get more flexibility and be able to play a quick position. So I think all that together was just trying to be a better player overall. So.
I want to talk about the alley-oop play. It seemed like at the end of it, I don't know if you took a page from Jawan there, but you stuck up your hand like that. It's sort of, I guess just talk about that play and just talk about, I guess, what you took from Jawan at the end of that.
Yeah, I was just paying tribute to Jawan, last year, he always joke about him being the only one dunking. So this year, I'm gonna help him out and I'm gonna have some dunks for him. So I gave a little tribute to him.
Jawan, how's that make you feel, seeing each one go up and get that dunk and pay that tribute to you then?
I get excited seeing other guys dunk, it gets me going. I think it gets the crowd going too, so I guess, anytime, these guys, dunk, I just get really happy.
Not just one guy, but multiple guys can make some threes, and that kind of, along with your good defense, kind of were the two separations in the game, don't you think?
Yeah, those streaks, when we made some threes, made some outside shots, and you know, their changing of defenses, their multiple defenses is always going to give you, you know, a little bit of a struggle just because you don't see it. And then we talked to them about how they swarm the ball when it goes inside, and we told them you can't dribble. You got to make a play and score it or pass it out of there. And the first couple of times we get it down there, we dribble. But no, those two segments of the game, you know, were the difference. And when guys step up and make shots and be patient, you know, it makes everything look good. But I was pleased. I thought DJ Bird, you know, probably, you know, was the MVP of the game in terms of just from his ability to pass, and he changed the game at the end of the first half with his decision making. And that's what we need him to do. You know, we need him to make good decisions, make good plays, take his open shots, and be a facilitator, for lack of a better word. You know, that's something we miss, you know, with Rob being out there. And you could really see when he got in there and made those plays at the end. He got each one the three at the end. He got John Hart a three on top of the key, and he got Jawan that post up just because of pass faking and just having some savvy and making the right basketball.
Might that mean, depending again on the opponent, the defense, you know, you might start Pat some, you might start DJ some?
I'm not really worried as much, you know, about starting. I thought DJ was such a, he changed the game at the end of the first half. I thought, you know, we're going to lose momentum if we don't start him in the second half. I thought he was that much of a difference at that time. And then he makes a good pass to start the second half and makes a three right away. So it worked out for him. I just, you know, you try your best. You know, sometimes you go in rhythms when you win 10, 12 games in a row. You don't want to mess with the lineup, even though somebody's played well. But I like to go back with starters the second half, the same guys. But I just thought he deserved that, and he deserved more minutes than he got. But you know, in a game like that, when we were able to push it out, you know, he was able to play and be solid for us.
Did you like your team man-to-man defense?
I thought it was better in the second half, even though we didn't do a terrible job in the first half. We were still jumping too many times when guys were shooting pull-ups and runners and attacking the basket. We got to take some charges there. And the one thing about staying on your feet when a live dribble's coming at you is now you're on your feet and you have the opportunity to go rebound the ball. But when you're constantly trying to block shots and you're not a shot blocker, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we got too many bigs trying to block shots, and we do have a good shot blocker. And you know, it's something we encourage with him, but we also encourage him to get big. You can't try to block everything. And we need to work on that. I think if we can put some time into that and get better, it can really help our team defense.
Coach, 21 assists, 25 field goals. Is that an encouraging sign, especially not having Robbie, you know, your facilitator?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that is encouraging for you?
I think it's very encouraging, and you're going to get that more against the zone. We got in transition, we were able to kick ahead for some shots, and you know, our guys did a good job of finding the extra man and just trying to keep the game simple. And you know, doing simple things, making the extra pass, shot fakes, ball fakes, pass fakes, and just trying to get them in the passing lane, and then things will open. When you jump stop and you pass fake, things open up for you. But when you try to jump in the air and pass on the fly, that's when you're going to turn the ball over. So we've struggled with that a little bit, and we tried to work on it more in practice, and I think tonight it helped.
Matt, I know sometimes numbers can show a lot, and sometimes they could be misleading. And on team rebounds, you out-rebound them 49-38. Overall, how did you think you rebounded as a team?
Well, I thought, you know, giving up 18 offensive rebounds is too many. We talked about it at half. They had 9.5, and so we can't give up that many offensive rebounds. We turned around and did it again. So we got to do a better job of, you know, finding the guy, whether you're inside or you're out, and just pursuing the basketball. So yeah, I think we're making some strides in that area. If we're not going to turn people over like we did before, we have to, you know, get our possessions back off the glass. And I just don't think we'll be able to turn people over quite as much as we have in the past, even though I think, you know, adding Tyrone Johnson to that mix, I think he's got a chance to be a very good defender on the ball and cause some havoc. But he still has a lot of work to do there. It takes time to build up your stamina in terms of defending and hawking the ball all the time. But Lou does a good job and Kelsey does a good job. But I think if we can improve in that area and force more turnovers and then improve in the rebounding, you obviously want to, you know, battle to get more possessions.
Coach, your thoughts on Juwan Johnson in terms of his activeness on the boards? Something that you kind of questioned at times, but it seemed like he was all over the boards.
Yeah, well, I think Juwan's ceiling's different than, you know, most other guys. You know, you you always leave, when you have a guy that's special like that, you always leave wanting more. And that's what I've always said about him, and made sure that he didn't, look at that as a negative. Look at that as a positive. You look at his stat line, and you always think he can do more. But when you're walking at halftime, and he has 10 rebounds, that's pretty good. And he just needs to keep giving that effort on the glass. And there was still 5 to 10 balls that he got his hands on that he didn't get. So you go back and you show him those things, and you show that you can make improvements, you can be better than that. And so he just needs to keep working. As long as he runs and he rebounds, defend, his shots aren't going in right now, but they will. They will. He's put in too much time. He's too skilled of a guy, and it's actually pretty good. When you have some early struggles, I think it keeps you grounded and it keeps you going, and it really helps you for down the road.
Take one more question, Coach. With
Man.
his shots, does he have to, he obviously transformed his body a little bit in the offseason. He's got so much more upper body strength. Does it maybe take some time to kind of
I think he's rushing a little bit.
adjust to that?
Looks like he's trying to get it off instead of just getting into his rhythm. A lot of times with your shot, it's your shot preparation. It's what you do before you catch it. And as long as he's down and he's ready, showing his hands ready to step into the ball. And I always talk about shooting in rhythm. You can't really grab it and say why didn't you shoot in rhythm when it's live, but you just know it's not the same fluid movement. If you watch each one more, it's when he doesn't have his butt out and he's not having his legs under him. And you can see it, it's not going in. But when he steps into a shot and it's fluid, it goes in. I think it's the same thing for him. You have to keep getting those reps. You got to keep working, and you got to watch tape so you can see it yourself. Go ahead, Mike.
I just want to know how, you referenced John when you were answering the red shirt question about Anthony. How did you think John played tonight?
I thought John did some good things. It's going to be interesting, with this group, because I think we can have some different guys step up in different nights. And it's always hard when you sub. It's hard to get into rotations and to get into flows. But John stepped up and made shots. He had a couple careless turnovers that he's got to get worked out. You got to take care of the ball when you're out there. But I thought he did some good things for us. Kept the ball alive. And anytime the ball goes in, that really helps. If you have another guy out there, that's a threat, whether that's Ryan Smith or John Hart, to go with our quickness and our ability to score as a team, that's really going to help.